All right, so we're doing something a little bit different. This is kind of like an impromptu session. Uh, I'm just meeting Tony today. You've been in Sub 2 for 2 years now?
Roughly 2 years. Yeah, I think we're coming up on 2 years
Okay.
in February, so getting there.
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about your current situation. Where are you at? What do you do?
So right now I'm full time, so active duty Army,
Okay.
and yeah, that consumes, I guess, most of my time. But that's been the brunt of it. So since joining Sub Two, I guess like most people attempted to do wholesaling, and
Yeah.
that was cold calling of direct to seller, and then
Yeah.
it turned over to direct to agents. Uh,
hmm
and continued on that path. But I guess outside of like what I do, so yeah, full-time Army, um, father of three boys, and got married also. My wife's a stay-at-home mom, so
Okay. So understand. I was doing wholesaling too, or I mean, I can't really call it. I was doing wholesaling. I was in that position where I thought I had to do wholesaling, direct to seller, try direct to agent. Neither one of them worked just because it's a lot of time and effort, right?
yeah.
And okay, so what do you do with the military? What's your role?
So I'm a network engineer.
Okay,
Prior to that, I was in the infantry. So,
okay,
um, but that's most of my time's been in the National Guard, so part time.
okay.
I'm just on active duty orders right now. But before the military, I was in IT still. I mean, I wouldn't say before, but before becoming active duty or going on orders,
Mhm.
I was in IT as well. Uh,
Okay.
Kind of all around IT. Didn't really focus on one niche in IT,
Mhm.
which I liked. So um,
Okay. Um, all right, so IT. What do you enjoy doing? Do you like talking to people? Do you like running numbers, systems?
that's tough.
Uh-huh.
I'm a very hands-on guy, so I like working with my hands. I like getting into projects and seeing things from from beginning to end. Um, on the
Okay.
civilian side, when I started my IT career in help
Mhm.
desk, and I moved into the projects team, so I was overseeing projects from beginning to end, where we would come into a client space and see what they had going on as far as
Mhm.
their IT went, and how we could revamp everything for them, and from hardware to all the software they had to efficiencies, the whole everything within there.
Okay. So it sounds like a systems type of sound like a systems type of person.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, what is it about real estate that you like? What's your goal?
The overall goal is to build generational wealth.
Okay.
That and having the financial freedom. So not having to worry about, you know, money within the short term, or making sure that the kids are set up for the future, and overall just not working for anybody anymore. So
Okay.
ever since learning about financial freedom and real estate investing, after maybe it's been 3, 4 years after learning about it, it's like, well,
Mm.
now I really don't want to work for anyone, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Understandable. So with a full-time job, active duty military, 3 kids, it sounds like you don't have a ton of time.
Yeah. Um, Not a whole lot of time, but at the same time, I'm sure I can make time, but it's just a matter of doing so, right?
So then do you have money?
No, as far as like purchasing properties, I wouldn't say I have a whole lot when it comes to that. So no.
Okay. Have you switched jobs in the past? Is that even possible in the military? No,
You're
right?
talking about companies? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh let's see. So before I've been on active duty for coming on a little over 2 years now. Prior to that, I was on orders again because I had like some training to do.
hmm
Um, but no, I would say in the recent 4 or 5 years, I haven't switched jobs.
Okay. So, okay, this is gonna be a bit of a challenge because typically you either have time or money. Rarely you have both, and rarely you have neither. When you say you don't have much, like how much do you have to get moving?
Right now, cash that I can use, probably I'd say 8 grand.
Okay. Um, okay. You're good with systems. How are you with numbers?
I'm not too bad with numbers. I'm sure for me, it's once I start getting into something and I stick with it, I can
Mhm.
become pretty proficient with it.
Okay. Do you like, well, I mean, do you like it though? Is it enjoyable?
Sorry, what was that? You cut out a little bit.
So do you like numbers? Do you like running numbers, analyzing property, running comps?
Yeah,
You do? Okay. Um, in a year from now, what would be your ideal situation in real estate?
a year from now in real estate. Hmm, I don't know. That's such a broad question. I guess. Are you talking like in terms of
Like, what would your
how I do real
portfolio look
estate?
like? What would your daily activity look like?
Okay. A year from now, I'd say having at least 3 properties in my portfolio.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if it's feasible, but to be able to, quit the W-2 and do nothing but real estate full time,
Okay.
that would be
So when you say three properties, what is it about owning property that you like?
the cash flow and also having the tax advantages.
Tax advantages. Okay. Tax advantages for um so that you're not having to pay taxes on the rental income. Is that what it is?
Yeah, if I'm understanding it
Okay.
right.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense and understandable. So the way that I approached this was I did it backwards, I think. The goal was always to leave the W-2
Okay.
as quickly as possible. But buying property and owning the cash flow that you get from owning property isn't really what's going to get you out of your job
Okay.
because you're getting on a good deal, you're getting $300 per door, right?
Okay.
And then so how many of those do you need to uh to offset your income and have a comfortable life because you're the only one working you're the only one earning money, not like working, but you're the one bringing the money in, right? Your wife's got a way more difficult job, but she's not bringing in the money. So that's your job. $300 a door, probably going to be pretty big challenge unless you were to raise a bunch of capital. And even when you raise capital to buy property, it's going to be very challenging to live off of that, especially when you have like for instance, I've had to do in the past year, I've probably spent over $10,000 just on maintenance, right? So um, the fastest way to get out of the W-2 and build financial freedom is to essentially find another job within real estate and then use that extra income to then go out and buy cash flowing property. Because then your cash flowing property will then offset your active income, whether that's wholesaling or fix and flipping or lending, right? The active income that you're getting from there, the rental property is what's going to help you offset that income. Okay. So for you, it's got to be, all right, how do I make money without having to use money? So it's going to be time. You don't have a ton of time, but if you can find something where it's not wholesaling, it's challenging, right? Because you have the pretty much the workday to go out and call and follow up and do all that. It's also expensive because you have to go out and you have to pay for lists, you have to pay for dialers. It's very time consuming. So for you, I think that if numbers are okay, then underwriting is the way to go.
Okay.
And the way to do that is you go out and you find someone who is doing something that you want to do. If you like fix and flips, then go out and find a fix and flipper and just say, can I help you underwrite? Can I help take something off your plate so you can focus on fix and flipping? Okay.
Okay.
How is this resonating with you at all?
It's such a hard question because it's like I've never done these things, so I don't
Okay.
really know what I would like to do without having have done it, if that makes
Okay.
sense, you know,
Makes sense. Okay. What have you done in the past outside of wholesaling?
when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
So I've tried getting into short-term midterm rental too, because I also run Turo. I'm a Turo host, and like that I don't mind doing at all, right? Because I'm a car guy, so and I like the whole customer service aspect. Um, and I like keeping these clean. And that's been going pretty well for me, and I'm looking to expand the fleet. Um, so with that, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I know I've always liked helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I recently just started door knocking pre-foreclosures,
Okay.
um, with whatever time I had. And I mean, I literally started maybe 2 days ago.
Okay. Can we go back to Turo?
Sure.
How many cars do you have?
2 cars.
Two cars. And then what is that netting you a month?
That I would say average between the two is about, lately it's been about 2,000 gross
Net.
profit.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your net, do you think?
Net, I would say we're almost just a little over 1,000.
Okay. So if two cars are netting you 1,000, how many cars do you need to offset your income?
Um, well, that's tricky because the one we've owned, that's the one we started with, so we own that free and clear. And then the second
Okay.
one's a loan, when we purchased for the business. Um, but I guess if I were to average it out, I would say I would need about, I make about 9, 10. Let's say I make 10,000 a month. Um, Probably need close to anywhere from 10 to 15 cars.
Can you do that? If you were to get help, could you, if you partner with someone, could you do that? If you're a car guy and you're already doing Turo, why don't you just continue down the Turo path?
Yeah. Um, I don't know what the numbers will look like how I guess I'd have to figure out how to structure like a partnership deal on that.
Yeah, man. If you're into cars and you like that, you start off with Turo, you're already doing it, so you're not adding too much more work to your workload. Because think about it like this: you have Turo, which you started off as a business, which is already a decent amount of work in its own, right?
Yeah.
In order to go out and start another business, wholesaling, door knocking, pre foreclosures, how much time does that take away from you versus if you were to add another two, three, four cars to your fleet?
Okay. Yeah, that
So
makes
then don't get caught up in the real estate, right? Because if you can make money just because you are in sub two doesn't mean you have to do real estate full time. It means, I mean, if you're doing well in Turo, expand your Turo, make the money, and then use real estate as your tax haven.
okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. And it's something that I do want to continue expanding. Um, I had thoughts of, okay, well, get to the point where I can just keep my W-2, expand the turtle side, come up with a system so I can still maintain my W-2 while doing it, and utilize those funds to purchase real estate. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I just know I just really want to get into real estate.
Okay. And it'll be there.
Yeah,
Real estate's not going anywhere. It's
sure.
so it's like perfect. Do the Turo, and then as you expand, you're gonna want to build in the systems and find the help, whatever, right? Find the people to help you expand your Turo fleet, and then that'll give you a great foundation for you to translate it into real estate.
Okay.
It's similar concept. It's just that instead of cars, it's houses.
Yeah.
The widgets just change.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, dude, do that. Are you in the TOP
I
group?
am.
Okay. Where are you located?
Baltimore, Maryland.
You're in Baltimore?
Yeah.
I got a couple houses in Baltimore. Where in Baltimore?
I am. Do you know the neighborhoods well, or
I only know Gay Street and what is the other one? I know Patterson Park just because, you know,
I'm pretty close to Patterson Park. I'm like two
oh,
miles west of Patterson Park. So
yeah.
I'm actually
So
close to I guess what would a lot of people consider downtown, right by the harbor, where the
yeah,
National Aquarium and all that stuff is.
Inner Harbor.
Yeah, Inner Harbor. There you go.
Yeah, we used to go up there. I mean, when I was going up there in college during college time,
Okay.
not exactly the safest place, but everything has gotten much better now.
Yeah. Where are you
Yeah.
from originally?
From Fairfax.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, so Fairfax, and then I moved down here to Florida just about a year ago, a little more than a year ago.
Nice.
Would like to go back to Northern Virginia. I mean, for no other reason other than friends and family, because everything else about that, well, and the food, everything else about the place sucks. Like the people suck, the traffic sucks, but the food and friends and family are the only reasons why we go back.
Yeah, we're only here temporarily, so
You're only here temporary. Then what are you gonna do with your Turo? Where are you gonna go?
um I mean the thought was to move it. It's the location here is not terrible. It's
Hmm.
not the greatest. We've already had thoughts for a while now to move more south. So we used to live in Georgia, uh,
Okay.
in near Augusta.
Okay.
We have my wife's got family near Myrtle Beach and also in Jacksonville, Florida. So
Okay.
we've always wanted to be somewhere, warmer climate, whatever the case is. But
Yeah. All
yeah,
right. So then what I would do is if you that's your plan, how soon are you gonna make that move?
it wouldn't be for another 3 years, and
Oh.
we're staying here primarily because our son's in high school here, so we're not trying to uproot him from that.
Oh, okay. Your kids are older.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have
Well,
more time.
we have one kid that's older. The two are younger. We have a 1 year
Oh,
old and a 4 year old also.
jeez. Okay. Got it. All right. So if I was in your position and I used to be in the cars, I just for whatever reason am not into it anymore. But if I was in your situation, I'm a car guy. I like cars. I like keeping things clean. I like right the hospitality aspect of it, but it's more in providing a service. If that's what you really like and you like cars, then I would just continue with the Turo fleet. Continue, take the 8,000 that I have, invest it back into Turo,
Okay.
and then just figure out how to generate more income that way.
Okay.
And then once you've got a nice system in place, everything's pretty much on autopilot, then you go out and you go into real estate.
Okay. I think that's one of my other problems is the shiny object syndrome, seeing
Yeah.
this and that. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, let's try this, let's try that.
Yeah. So say no to everything else,
Okay.
Turo. All
No,
right.
everything else. Just stick
Yeah,
with
no
it.
to everything else. You're gonna go way further that way. And
Got
don't worry about being in sub two and not having a real estate deal. It's okay.
it. Okay.
This is, in my opinion, the way you should go.
Okay. I
Any
appreciate that.
concerns? Any concerns?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So what are you gonna do now?
What's that?
What are you gonna do now?
Well, so I just came back from a dealership before this call. I was
Uh-huh.
looking at another vehicle. So, I'm gonna see
Yeah, man.
with that. Um, just keep focusing on Turo and trying to grow the revenue on that side, like you said, and put those funds aside and continue to build it up where, I can either quit the W-2 or put it into assets.
Yeah. Um, you can also take these creative finance principles and apply it to cars as well. You know that, right?
Yeah, so I followed Mike Davis on that with his
Okay.
top method. And
Yeah.
I think in my mind, I've always been stuck on, I want to get into a deal, no money down at all, right?
Hmm.
Um, So unless I
But
find a really good deal from him, then I think that'll work.
yeah, so use that as your practice, right? Because you get good at that, you can apply it to anything.
Okay.
So Turo, focus on creative finance acquisitions of cars,
Okay.
unless you find like a killer cash deal, right?
Yeah.
But that way your 8,000 can go further, expand your fleet, and then there's going to be growing pains, but then you just put systems in place. Hire VA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely
Okay.
with that.
All right. So what's your plan?
The plan is to
Thank you.
try to acquire another vehicle, look more into creative finance aspect of vehicles,
Hmm.
um, develop that aspect more because it'll, transfer over to the real estate side
Yep.
and build up my systems better and get to a point where I can hire a VA and possibly someone else so that I can literally walk away from the business while I still get cash flow from it.
Okay. Cool. And if you have extra cash laying around, let me know. I do lending.
Okay.
I've been focused on helping friends and family get into these short-term lends, which
Yeah.
is, cool, but they're also now that they're getting spoiled too. Which is fine. Like I want to help them build their wealth. But yeah, so let me know. I'm already doing it, not doing anything else. So um, dude, I'm excited for you. I'm looking forward to where it goes. I want to see you have like 10 cars, 15 cars.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
always good to, I guess, have someone point me in the right direction, even though I kind of had the direction there. I just couldn't,
yeah.
I couldn't see it. That's all.
Yeah, we typically just take our own experiences and education and all that and just kind of downplay it and not really think that it's worth anything. But dude, if you ask me to run a Turo company, I'm running to the ground. Just you got no experience with it. Right. So um yeah, man. Let me know if you have anything else or any other questions or anything.
Okay. Definitely will.
Okay. Cool. Looking
Awesome.
forward to
Appreciate.
it.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, take care.